Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly reading. This is for the last week of 2019. This is going to be specifically for the 23rd through to the 29th of December. And next week's will go into 2020. So it's always exciting when you feel the energies of a new year coming on. I feel like 2020 is going to be quite an intense year, different to 2019 though. 2019 had a very heavy energy about it. I feel like 2020 may start heavy because we have the Pluto Saturn conjunction peaking on January 11th. So the energies at that time are going to be really, really strong in a very sort of heavy way, which is going to be a continuation of the energy that we have been, most of us, feeling in December. And next year is the year of the rat in Chinese astrology, so you can always look up on Google the year of the rat and find out about what your Chinese animal, how it fares with the year of the rat. It should be a good one for me because I'm a dragon, and so dragons and rats energy get along quite well, so that's good. Now I'm going to talk about the energies for this coming week, and also I'll just show you the cards. So it's pick a card for this week for the 23rd to the 29th. So 1, 2, 3 or 4. I've got 2 cards here. I've got a card from the Cosmic Tarot and from the Psychic Tarot Oracle. Okay. All right. So this week, the main news is there's a new moon solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn. Very significant if you've got anything early Capricorn, you're born sort of early in the sign of Capricorn. This marks a new beginning for you guys, or if you've got Capricorn moon or rising. It is a new beginning for everybody, but in particular, you know, with a new moon, it's always a new beginning or a new fresh energy coming in. But because it's a solar eclipse, that sort of ups the ante a little bit on this fresh energy. So it is time to look at new directions in your life, to look at what old habits you can leave behind, like old ways that just don't work for you anymore. Anything Capricorn related, and Capricorn's quite a stubborn energy, so you might want to look at things that you're stubbornly holding on to, whether it's in yourself or in the way that you live your life that's not productive, that's not healthy, that's not positive for you. There is quite a lot of heavy energy in the Capricorn element sign, rather, at this time, because we have Saturn and Pluto, in Capricorn, and they're coming towards a conjunction, which is a very intense energy. We haven't had a Saturn-Pluto conjunction since the 80s, and the last one was not in Capricorn, it was in Scorpio. And this energy changes things in a very fundamental way. So you've got to look at your life and see, where is change starting to happen, where is it wanting to happen, and really listen to your gut instincts and your intuition, not your fear. Now that's the trick, because Saturn in Capricorn with Pluto in Capricorn is definitely triggering our deepest compulsive fears at this time. Our stubborn sort of desire to hold on to old habits, old things that we know that bring us a sense of comfort or stability, even survival things. And sometimes, we have these reactions and we don't even understand why we're holding on to these ways or these behaviors that are not healthy. And so this new moon can help, sort of, if you're open to it, to help you look at a way to move forward that is more positive for you, that's going to bring in a new energy for your life. And it could be career related for a lot of people, or it could be just around the structure of your life. It could be anything really, but Capricorn is about stability, and it's about your resources, and it's also about being practical and real, not sort of being in a fantasy in your mind of like thinking of things but not realizing that they're not practical. Like getting stuck in that is actually very negative at the moment. So you want to be very real about things, you want to be very practical, but you also want to incorporate your dreams in a way that is realistic, if that makes sense. So the other stuff going on this week is we still have Mars in Scorpio through to the end of December and into early January. Venus is now, since last week, in Aquarius, which is giving us more of a sense of wanting to connect more in group situations, or socialize a little bit more, connect with friends more. There is more of a perhaps a little bit of a big picture perspective when it comes to love and finances with Venus in Aquarius. The Venus in Aquarius can be a little bit detached, so you might not be listening to your intuition if you're being a little bit sort of airy-fairy about things at the moment, so watch that. What else? So I don't know if I mentioned the solar eclipse happens just after Christmas Day on the 26th of December, and that's at 4 degrees of Capricorn. Friday, the Sun in Capricorn conjuncts with Jupiter in Capricorn. It's quite a strong energy. It can bring about sort of a bit too much of a controlling energy or an over-the-top energy, or just not being able to hold your emotions. And you know, maybe if there's tensions brewing, this could be a bit negative, because it can really bring out an overly blunt or controlling or sort of blustering kind of energy that, you know, you may want to just get your point of view across, and you may be doing it too forcefully, or you may be fed up with something and it's like it all just comes out. So just be careful of stepping on people's toes on Friday, because if you're feeling this energy, it can be a bit over the top. Watch out for overindulgence, overspending, or overdoing it in any way with Sun conjunct Jupiter on Friday. And at the end of the week on Sunday, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction comes within 1 degree of being exact. So we'll start to feel that heavy, heavy energy of change, which is really coming on so strong. And it's like, you know, allow the change to happen, to change you, because that's what's happening. It's like the old ways are, you know, are kind of like needing to die. They really are. They're needing to transform so that we can grow in new ways. And if we stubbornly hold on to the old, then we will not allow ourselves to grow and have new experiences that we could never imagine. Sometimes we don't know what new experiences are there for us, but if we don't allow ourselves to be open, then we can't experience them. So that's my message for this week. All right, let's have a look at the cards for you. So if you chose one, these are your messages. Wow, very spiritual energy here with the High Priestess and the Spiritual Strength card. Here we have the sign of Gemini and the Moon and the Yin and Yang. So it's about all things in balance. Now, the High Priestess is really related to the deep feminine wisdom. And, you know, the reason why women are so in touch with their intuition is because they have experienced trusting their emotions. And I'm not saying men are not in touch with their intuition, but definitely women in general are much more connected to a sense of a deep truth. And that is because they are more sensitively in tune with their bodies, in tune with, you know, a lot of elements to do with earth and Mother Nature. And by nature, we have to be in touch with our feelings, because that's the nature of woman. We have to experience so many things in the physical aspects that men don't. And again, I'm not saying that all men are not in tune with their emotions, because there are many men who are very sensitive and very in tune. But what I'm getting at here is there is a need, if you are someone that tends to push your emotions aside or ignore them, there is a need to really listen to your intuition and tap into the hidden aspects of yourself that you maybe haven't discovered fully, in order to find the spiritual strength that you need at this time. And maybe you're someone that's a bit more cerebral or used to coming at things logically. We have the Gemini here energy, which really stands out to me. So it is saying that, you know, there's only so far you can go with the mind when it comes to intuition. You really need to tap into a deeper level of yourself to access your spiritual strength, to access, you know, a deeper part of yourself. And that will be able to give you a grounding. And I feel very grounded energy with this spiritual card. And it's about being grounded in the physical in order to have a true sense of your spirituality. So this week, if you chose this card, stay grounded in yourself. Don't get lost in your thoughts, overthinking, trying to push things around mentally too much, or being too, you know, concerned over the details of things too much. That's not the energy I'm getting with this at all. It's the opposite. It's about being just very in touch with your inner stillness, your intuition, your sense of wisdom, your core self, and that is where your strength is. So that's a beautiful message for you this week. If you're dealing with people that are difficult this week, it's saying that, you know, you'll be able to stay strong and you know, peaceful and balanced through tapping into your spiritual connection, your connection with the divine, and your inner strength. All right, so number 2. Oh wow, that's crazy. The exact same card in 2 different decks. So if you chose number 2, there's either travel around you this week or a lot going on. You're very busy. The 8 of Wands and the 8 here with the positive movement forward is talking about a lot happening really, really quickly. Okay, so you might have communications that come in suddenly that are really a lot at once, or a lot to take in. If you haven't heard from somebody that you've been waiting to hear from, you may hear from them suddenly, and they may have a lot to say. This could be about travel, about getting away, about taking a break, you know, going somewhere where you can, even it could be to do with the water as well, going by water or mountains. That's what's depicted here in the card. This is a very strong energy, so because it's doubling up here, I definitely say travel for some people, but also if it's not travel, there's a lot going on around you, a lot of communications and a lot of energy. And it would be good for you to get near the water if you could, because it will be quite soothing to your soul. The one thing I feel with this is I feel quite exhausted looking at this, so it's giving me the feeling of like tiredness, I'm taking on too much type energy, and I need a break, and you know, that kind of energy. So definitely make sure you schedule time off for yourself. It's really important because there's a lot of hectic energy around you this week. Okay, so 3, 6 of Wands, and heart chakra. Wow, that's beautiful. So this is a very positive message here. If you've been worried about a situation to do with a relationship, or something that you're passionate about to do with the heart chakra, and you see the line here which represents Leo energies, which is about creativity, courage. We also have Jupiter mentioned here on his shirt there's a Jupiter symbol which represents growth. So what's happening here is there's a need for you to grow in regards to heart matters, in regards to relationships. And this is saying that you will be successful, but perhaps right now you're not sure. Perhaps right now you've been worried about a relationship. This combination is saying that you will have success in heart matters, matters of the heart, matters of love, matters of relationships with others, things that you've been concerned about, I feel. And the Jupiter is really standing out to me, and the sun's shining very brightly here. And 6 of Wands is a card of success. So it's telling me that if you've been worried about a person, a relationship, or any other, it could be any kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be love, but it could also be love. Interesting, there's a flower down there. It actually looks like a hibiscus flower, I think. That's what it looks like to me. It just caught my eye just then, that red flower. So definitely something about passion and love here, and relating, and something getting worked out that's been difficult in the recent past. Okay, and the last one, number 4. Oh wow, this is heavy. Truth and 3 of Swords. Okay, I just need to sip of my water here. Okay, so what I'm getting here is this could represent realizations that you're having about something to do with either your own patterns in your life, your own emotional, psychological patterns, or relationships and how they haven't worked out. There's a bit of a heavy energy. So someone here is reflecting on the truth of matters and looking at even things to do with your childhood, the past, analyzing things. The 3 of Swords is a very painful card. It's a card of heartbreak, and you know, sometimes we don't realize we're creating, you know, destructive patterns in our lives because of the way we react, the way we think, the way we, you know, don't have, you know, faith in outcomes, you know, or we have like really intense fears that we don't even understand ourselves. This could be, for some people, facing a truth in a relationship, of a change in a relationship, or an ending to a relationship. For others, this can be this week a truth coming out that you weren't expecting, that could be a bit emotional for you or a bit difficult in some way. But the 3 of Swords is not an easy card, but you know, I feel also a sense of relief that this comes out, that this truth comes out. So you may find something out that is painful, but it actually helps you to move on with your life in a direction that you need to go. And I'm just going to see what else I'm getting. I'm getting this sense of stagnation here, that something, whether it's to do with your personal energy, something has been stuck energetically and you need to sort of break free of a past trauma that's still controlling your life and your relationships, or break free of an actual situation that is relationship related. It is a number 2 here at the top of the card. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's a number 2 up there. 2s usually represent relationships. So yeah, there's something here about a change in a relationship, or an awareness to do with the relationships or the way you relate with a particular person, and how that there's a destructive element to that which you're trying to heal from, basically. And it's like the messages have been around you, but it hasn't quite hit home yet as to what's really going on. And perhaps you just thought, oh, that's the way it is, or that's the way my life is, and it's just always going to have that aspect to it. But no, not necessarily. It's just that you haven't healed from something, and that's why you're continuing to experience this sort of what feels very heavy energy, or negative energy, or a troubling energy in a relationship. Something to do with also self-love and self-worth comes up here. So again, these may be issues intertwined with this message, like perhaps there was something in your childhood that was damaging and you need to learn self-love. and self-nurturing, rather than sort of reactive, you know, negative or angry behaviors, things like that. It could be quite complicated, I feel, but this is really about, I'm getting the word clarity, lifting your energy up, raising your vibration, shifting from like a vibration of fear and negativity. And again, this could be just, you may not be someone that is fearful and negative, but you may have this in one aspect of your life with just one person where there's a lot of unresolved energy or energy that needs healing, you know. But for others, this is something that has sort of haunted you. I feel it's a very heavy energy, and I feel like life is actually trying to help you by giving you information. It says truth here, giving you information through other people that's sort of trying to sort of alert you to something deeper that's going on that you need to understand so that you can heal. Okay, so those were the messages this week, guys. Pretty interesting, lots of different messages. And as I said, my shop will be closed until around the 29th, roughly the 29th of January. And if you're waiting for a reading from me, I will still be working throughout the holiday break. I won't be working, as I said, Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, and January 1st. But other than that, I will be working on the outstanding orders. And I'll talk to you next week for the 2020 reading. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. And talk to you next week. Bye.